Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time where we went to Target and we had to come back to the theater because they were getting noisy, but we're here. And we just saw, basically what we do is we geek out over movies we just saw. It's not so much a review, but anyways, we just saw Get Out. Yeah, and this is going to be our all the spoilers review. We're going to talk all the spoilers. We're going to talk about the ending. We're going to ruin this movie. And this is one that you don't want spoilers for. You really should probably go in dry because it's really, really cool. But anyways, we're going to do all kinds of spoilers. But if you want a no spoiler review, there's a link in the description below, or something's popping up right about now that you can click on. And then come on back for the spoilers when you're ready.
I do that just to break it.
So anyways, here's your warning. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. I wish that was in 3D. That'd be so cool. Okay, you guys gone? You cool? You cool?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this movie's awesome. I fucking love this movie. I would almost be afraid of her if I wasn't white.
Whatever for.
So, I think I loved this movie, and you really enjoyed it.
Mind you, not my genre.
Right? Yeah, I'm the horror guy.
Yeah. So the fact that I really like this movie says something. Because it's one of those things. It's like I can't do slasher flicks. I just cannot.
Right, and this was not a slasher flick.
Yeah. It's more psychological.
Mm-hmm.
Much more psychological.
Yeah, brilliantly psychological. From the mind of Jordan P. of Key and Peele. Just in case you didn't know, but if you're watching all the spoilers, what are you doing?
But yeah, it was, and there's a nice dose of comedy mixed in with everything. Yeah,
the sidekick TSA agent, the TS motherfucking A agent, they take care of shit. This shit's motherfucking handled. That was pretty great. And the scene where he goes into the police department to talk about his buddy being missing, and he's pitching like, I think these white people are brainwashing him to be a sex slave. And then the cop brings in this totally straight face and brings in other cops, and they all just start laughing at him. I was like, that's pretty awesome. Another fun thing about this, fun fact, is the UK men's basketball team came in and watched this movie with us, and Bam Adebayo sat right beside me, Brad Calipari beside him, so that was kind of interesting. Especially because, well, we'll build up to it a little bit, because there's some we got to give you a little setup, but, obviously, the whole thing was that this family, the daughter, is, like, seducing black men and bringing them in under the guise of her first black boyfriend, because all these fucking creepy old white people want to, like, have their brains transplanted into the black people's bodies to live in healthier lives and shit. I mean, it's fucking crazy. But the best part is, you find out she's done this many, many times, and you have a moment where she starts to research future potential victims.
Uh-huh.
So keep in mind, and again, I don't know how much you know about sports. Probably a lot of people maybe on my channel aren't big sports fans, but the UK basketball men's team, we send the most players to the NBA. For like the past 6-7 years, we are sending record amount of players to the NBA. Okay, we get like the top talent. So
one and done.
Well, not necessarily. It's a whole other argument. The point I bring that up for is because they were in here watching this with us, and this would have been funny or interesting on its own, but because they were in the theater, and everybody knew they were in the theater, this got a huge laugh. But she's on her laptop, and she starts searching top NBA prospects. And the guys were just like, whoa, what? What the fuck? And like, that's when I had to look over at, because I just had to see their reaction. And even Bam's looking at me like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, I know, right? So we all had this shared moment in the theater of, oh my God, this is like, that moment's 10 times cooler than it would normally be. Because we are sitting here easily with 2-3 of the top NBA prospects, like for real. So I was sitting beside one of them.
Someone's a fanboy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on, you have to admit, as somebody who doesn't really care, that's still kind of a neat experience that you're not really going to get anywhere else.
If I wasn't dating this guy, I've been like, who the fuck are these really tall, annoying people who are loud as fuck in this theater?
And they weren't the only one. A lot of the crowd was kind of loud and on their phones, but I give the UK guys credit, a pass because they're local royalty. But anyways, I just couldn't wait to share that story because I just thought that was so fucking cool. And again, that moment would have been cool anyways, but it was like just way cooler because of that. But man, this movie is so good. The acting is good. The main character is fantastic. I wish I could remember his name. I will learn it in the future.
No, the character's name was Chris.
Well, I remember that, surprisingly. And he and the woman, the girlfriend, before you realize the girlfriend's in on it, really good chemistry. Like, I really cared about them, and I really wanted to see where it was going and everything.
And it was one of those things, she was so good at playing the part that I was sitting here going like, is she a honey trap?
Yeah, because even I had a moment too. It's like, well, maybe the parents have also brainwashed her and she doesn't know she's the lure.
Yeah, and I did have actually that thought too, especially because she was just so convincing.
Yeah. And then her, go ahead, sorry.
And then she has the moment where she's like,
her turn.
She's just been frantically digging for her keys in her purse, and she's like,
I don't know, honey, I don't know where they are. I'm just doing it with you. Okay. Go ahead. I'm giving you get the big line.
Okay. and she's like, oh, here they are.
She says, you know I can't let you have these keys, hun. Because the family has surrounded him and he's realizing, oh shit, she's in on it too.
Yeah.
Because he had just found the pictures that she had been with all these other black dudes, even though she claimed that he was her first black boyfriend and all that. So very convincingly. So that was a really cool reveal. My jaw was on the floor through a lot of this movie because a lot of the movie I'm just like, There's even a moment I'm embarrassed about because I got so excited about like when he took out one of the family members, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't mean to like actually clap.
That was the one with the deer head.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, when he just stabs the dad with the antlers of the deer head, I was like, oh.
As improvised weapons go, that one's pretty impressive.
And I tell you, they beat the horror cliche of the idiot antagonist, protagonist, lead, whatever. Of them doing stupid things. I think protagonist. I think he was played very smart. He did all the smart moves. Even the one thing he knew was going to bite him in the ass with the maid that turns out to be the grandma. Yeah. After he hits her, and he decides to get her and put her in the car. But even in that moment, the one stupid thing he's doing, he's like, no, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Don't do this. This is stupid. Like he's telling himself.
The thing is, again, but that is just him actually being very human.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I'm being positive about that. I thought that was really cool.
It's just one of those things that's going like, he knows that there is some part of that person that used to inhabit that body.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very interesting take on Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, I know. Because you're kind of jumping all over the place in this thing. You realize that.
In the review?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't mind. That's what we do. Okay. We geek out about what we want to geek out about.
I know, but this is one of those things that I think may have been a little easier to do sequentially, but...
well, whatever.
Okay. We talk back and forth because he's one of those guys who wants to go for the ride. And I'm one of those people that I can't help but sit and analyze stuff. I mean, I got like a near perfect score in the analytical part of the GRE, so I can't help it.
I know, it's part of why I love you.
So a lot of the stuff I kind of pieced together real fast.
I've trained myself to stop that because I want, like you said, enjoy the ride. So, because I used to be that way of, I'm going to figure out this movie, I'm going to beat it. But it's like, no, I want to enjoy, let it unfold. If it's too obvious, then it's too obvious. If it's not, it's not. So,
yeah. Well, the thing is, I could kind of have the thing where it's just like, I'm pretty sure I know what's going on, but I kind of, but let's see if they surprise me.
And that's the thing too. A lot of people who are like, well, I knew it was going to happen. A lot of people, when they say that, they're saying they had a theory of what was going to happen that turned out to be true. They don't always know that's what's going to happen.
But the thing is, but they put out the hints really early on.
Yeah, they laid the groundwork well. I think this will be a fun one to rewatch for that regard.
Okay, so basically, if you haven't already figured it out, there's a body swapping thing going on.
Brain swap.
So yeah, basically the black guys get lured in and get auctioned off.
Yeah, that auction scene, I was like, oh my god, they're fucking, like that was pretty...
that was actually my first, where I first was going like, she's a honeypot. Because she does it so well. It's like, maybe no, but the thing is, she takes him for a walk well away from everybody else while they're doing the auction.
Yep, that's a good point. That's the kind of stuff I want to rewatch
wow,
it for.
That's awfully convenient timing.
Yeah.
They mention how the first two black people that he meets in this neighborhood, the housekeeper and the groundskeeper. It's like, oh yeah, we hired them to help take care of my
parents,
his girlfriend's grandparents, her father's parents, and it's just like, when we died, we just couldn't let go of them, and when you first walk into the kitchen, you meet the housekeeper first time. It was like, the kitchen was my mother's favorite place. And when she died, we kept a little piece of her here, and that's when you see the housemaid. And then he goes on and tells the story about how his grandfather was this close to being in the Olympics, but was outdone in the qualifiers by I'm blanking on
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens, thank you. Who went on and proved that he was, that the Aryan race wasn't quite as superior. Thank you. I've been up for a long fucking time.
She's usually up almost 24 hours in these things, if you guys are ever wondering. But
yeah, So, anyways, guy goes out for air later on that night, and out of nowhere, the groundskeeper is just running like a motherfucker.
You've seen it in the trailers.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's Grandpa.
Yeah, see, like I did not pick up on it. I just had the connection now about the running thing as you were explaining it. Some of it's the alcohol, some of it's the UK players, some of it's just, I like to just enjoy the movie and be having my jaw on the floor.
Yeah, so, because I was sitting here going like, I'm pretty sure that's Grandpa.
A lot of my movie-going experience, too, I think, especially the more YouTube I'm doing, and right now this weekend I'm very, very stressed because there's a lot going on, so it's much easier for me to be like, I'm just going to turn my brain off and enjoy the movie, because it's been running, it needs a cool-down period.
Of course, and then you get to the scene where they're having the party. It's like, and, which girlfriend totally forgot what's going on.
Yeah, that was, yeah. But I mean,
is that this weekend?
But again, they sell it.
They sell the hell out of it.
Yeah, like it's not...
I mean, Mom and Dad are still kind of creepy, but it's
in the believable way.
But it's like in a, overly liberal sort of, almost crunch, upper,
It's very real.
Crunchy.
Very realistic.
Yuppie crunchy?
Sure.
If I can coin that term?
Yuppie for sure. Crunchy I've heard, but I don't know.
Crunchy is kind of like a hippie thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay, yeah. Granola.
Yeah.
Yuppie, granola yuppies. Yeah. Anyways, we're probably insulting like a third of the people watching this thing. Sorry, no intention.
I don't think there's a way to do this without insulting somebody at some point.
I'm pretty good at it.
But they have all their friends over, and they're all very interested in him, very friendly, and he's kind of like, y'all make me nervous.
Yeah, well, they also are asking some really weird questions initially too, until they do the flashback and reveal, and it's understood why they're asking these questions. Because they're basically trying to feel out the merchandise, because like the one guy is like, black's the new cool, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, black is totally in fashion right now.
Yeah, and then like the one lady feeling up his muscles on his arm, like, ooh, you're well built, that kind of stuff.
And then he has a very interesting conversation with a blind guy.
Who runs an art museum.
Who's actually heard of him.
Because he's a photographer. Chris is a photographer.
Yeah, he's an art. He's like, I really like your work, and I have somebody who describes it to me in detail. That's how I can.
And it's a guy, and I'm blanking on his name too. The art critic. It's one of those guys you've seen in a billion things too.
Yeah.
And you like him.
And I'm sitting here going like, well, maybe this guy. I wasn't surprised that he bought him after the conversation. He's like, you've got an eye. I was like, I did photography for a long time. I submitted for 14 times to National Geographic, never got anything. And then, I opened up the gallery, and then I went blind genetic disease. It sucks. And so I wasn't really surprised that he bought him, because I figured it was like, okay, he wants him to do photography for him
or something.
To be his eyes. I was unaware how literal that was going to be.
Yeah, I kind of thought once I started putting it together, I started to think, well, maybe he does really like this guy's work, and maybe he's gonna try and save him or something. Like, that was a brief thought of mine. So. Yeah. But I think it's pretty cool.
But I thought he would be like, I was under the assumption that the movie wants you to have at the time that yes, it's gonna be like a slave thing. But
again, the TSA guy kept saying it was going to be sex slavery, and for a minute or two I thought that could be the case, and it'd be pretty damn funny if the one guy was like just telling him what was going to happen the whole time.
The black people acting white
is very, very creepy. Yeah, the ones that had already had their brains transplanted. Yeah. So and when you say black acting white, what she's saying like being upper crust, like the Hampton party kind of, you know.
Just short of being a buffet.
Yeah, yes, buffet.
Yes, James.
Yes, vacation in the Hamptons. Yeah, like Thurston Howell kind of stuff, right? But yeah, they did a really good job with that. Like everybody in this movie was really, really good. Mm-hmm. Spot on casting.
Yeah. Actually, going back to that particular acting again, the housekeeper and the housekeeper, as you find out later on in the movie, are the grandparents.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
but that was awesome. And that was another.
But I think I kind of wonder if it wasn't quite as perfected at that point.
Well, they did have the obvious head scars, which I thought was a cool reveal as to why the housekeeper lady kept futzing with her hair.
Yeah, but because I know they recognized them as grandparents, but again, they didn't really. They were the housekeeper and the groundskeeper. I mean, they weren't really treated as grandparents per se. More like a very bizarre sort of memento. The other guy that he meets.
But again, you know, that might have just been for Chris's benefit. Like when
you think so?
When they don't have the kid there, they might act more like a family.
That would have been interesting to see in some way.
Yeah.
Because the other guy, he still fell off, but I mean, he didn't feel like brain damaged off per se. Which
I don't know, because like, are you talking about the one that was with the woman, 30-year-old?
Yeah,
and like when Chris reaches out for the fist bump, and the guy's like.
I mean, how white?
And I mean, like, come on, even white people know the fist bump. And I mean, even that group of people he was around, to be like culturally cool would want, they would, like, I picture those being the kind of white people that would be like, yo, fist bump, bro, you know, kind of thing. So that was a pretty good indicator, I thought. So.
Yeah, I mean, the process probably wasn't perfect,
right?
But it was enough to get the job done that they were looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you know, just to make it clear too, we're talking about the kind of white person that, when they meet a black person, has to be like, I would have voted for Obama a third time. You know, like, I mean, like, they just have to make sure you know they're cool with you being black. That kind woo, science. That kind of white people, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
As opposed to those of us who are used to actually dealing with black people on a regular basis.
Or, you know, just people. Period.
I don't know.
You know, I mean, we don't need to get into it, but obviously you've probably seen enough of our stuff to know we don't give a shit. If you're cool, you're cool. That's how we roll, so. Yeah. And by cool, I don't mean like, hey, I'm cool. I just mean, you know, if you're not a dick, then we're fine with you, you know? Just made me think of something funny. It's totally not related.
Okay. But, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you covered it all. I'm sitting here thinking, wow, this is like totally the opposite of our normal reviews, where I just go on and on and on, and you get a word every once in a while, which is fine, because you're covering all the bases, so.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm trying to figure out what.
Well, I mean, I know I just really dig it. This is one I will recommend like crazy. I want to see it again and again. Yeah, everything is really, really good in this movie, though. Just the way it starts, the cinematography. There's this one moment early, too, when he's kissing the girl on the bed before they leave, and like there's this lens flare in there. You guys know I love my lens flares. And it's just a really beautiful shot, and just well-directed, well-paced. The hypnotism and the shrink.
Yeah.
I thought all that stuff was awesome. I thought the visualization of that was awesome. However, our theater thought it was really funny. So they were just laughing at the absurdity of it, you know, thinking it looked kind of goofy, but I'm like, no, I get it. Like,
what
that's
is it
an
called?
awesome...
The sunken place?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and I just thought the visualization of that was really cool, that he's like just floating in a starry nothingness, but there's like this movie screen of what his actual physical eyes are looking at, and he can't get to it and can't interact. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
So I really like that. But it was a little aggravating when people are giggling at it, like just like school children.
Yeah,
which, you know, I tend to forget about these basketball players. They all are like 18. They are kind of literally school children.
Compared to us.
Yeah.
See, I'm probably old enough to be some of them. Well, not quite.
No,
no, I am.
Yeah, we are old enough to be some of their parents.
Yeah, if I started at 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're old, guys.
But I was going to go back. Another thing that I kind of wanted to smack the art gallery guy upside the head, because
For being blind? Me too.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, whoops.
Well, no, there was just a massive flaw in his logic.
Whoa.
Okay, so, what they do is it's a brain swap, basically. They leave just enough of the original brain
to run the body.
To, run the neurons and everything, the motor functions, basically. Basically the lizard brain. And then they basically transplant the rest of the other person's brain on top of that. And the guy's going he's like, I bought you because I want your eyes. I'm sitting here going oh, dude, if you didn't have a knack for doing photography, you still aren't going to have a knack for doing photography.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe he learned from his art critic gallery guy describing things. I don't know. I mean, that's a stretch. Yeah.
No, he figured that if he was in the body, he'd be able to do it. I'm like, no, dude, if you don't have it, you don't got it. It's all up in here, sweetie.
Just, it's all
your
everywhere.
heart is still up in here, sweetie.
It's all actually, art is in the air. Artists are just able to receive it easier than normal people. It's my theory, anyways.
Dude would still be screwed.
Yeah. One thing I'm surprised didn't come into play, because Mary actually mentioned this too. She rubbed my arm. No, don't stop. I didn't say stop. But he gets around the hypnotism at the end because he has like this scratching thing. Mm-hmm. This nervous tick when he's getting hypnotized. He scratches. So he ends up scratching up this chair so bad the cotton comes loose. Mm-hmm. Somehow he's able to stuff it in his ears. I'll go with that.
I guess he could just...
Yeah.
You can't see me off camera doing that.
Right, she's kind of leaning into it. But he does pull it out, after he gets free. And Mary's like, you probably should have left that in. Which is true. However, no, actually, that's when I clapped, I think, was when he got to the mom and, they both eyeballed the tea glass that she uses to trigger it.
Teacup, you mean?
Teacup, yeah, to trigger it. And you just know, they're both going to dive for it. And, of course, he gets it and smashes it. That's when I was like, yeah! I was like, oh, shit, I didn't mean to clap, sorry. But everybody else was like, yeah, too, so that was really cool. The brother was a perfectly douchey brother. Perfectly douchey.
Yeah.
And I was very happy to see him get his. Especially when he was running with the lacrosse stick. I don't know, there was just something about that image of him with that was... just made him douchier to me. Yeah. I mean, nothing against the lacrosse or anybody that plays it. It's just in this particular use of it, there was something about it that was a little grating on my nerves. Like, oh, this guy, man. Oh, yeah. Can't stand him. But even the family was well cast because you kind of want the brother. You wanted to like the family. Yeah. Even though they were being creepy, even though the mom totally hypnotized the guy that did not want to be hypnotized without his permission. And I like the way they played that too, that they let him think maybe it was a dream. Yeah. I thought that was pretty clever. Until someone told him he was outside. Till
Grandpa said, "Sorry about scaring you last night." He's like,
"It's like, wait, that was real."
That was real. Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? At least he doesn't want to smoke anymore, so that's good. Fix that part of the problem.
I don't know. After all that might just be completely.
Honestly, that's the one thing that I thought maybe in that moment, once his buddy got him in the TSA car. And the movie was over.
Give me a cigarette.
I know, I just imagined him just picking one up and lighting it. I thought that might have been kind of cool, but I don't know. It might have worked against the story, but still, that was pretty cool. Which was also,
or if his friend just lit up.
Yeah, something like But that was also a cool moment too. When the big kind of finale.
Yeah.
And he's on top. The girl's already been shot. The grandfather he used the flash on, so he remembered enough he shot the girl and then kills himself, which he knew was coming. And then he's strangling the girl, and he starts smiling, yes, do this. And he's like, oh, fuck you. I ain't gonna give you what you want. Then the cop car pulls up.
And I'm sitting here going
and
I'm sitting here going
because we already established a possibly racist cop initially in the beginning of the movie, so.
But no. What I was thinking of is, remember Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how that ends?
Yeah.
I was going oh, this is gonna be that all over again.
That could have been an ending. I wonder if this will be one of those where they have a Blu-ray with 5 different endings or something. Because that would be kind of cool. I mean, not that ending would be cool, but I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see versions of that. Because you can totally see that. Because what I thought was going to happen was that it was going to turn out we're supposed to think it was a racist cop. But he shows up and he's actually been suspicious of this family the whole time. And that's why he wanted the guy's ID. He was trying to like put something on the record that here was this guy going with this family.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that might have been an interesting way to take it. And then at the end of the day, he actually saves him from the girl.
Well, I mean, the TSA
play on those
guy,
expectations.
The TSA friend was like putting all this stuff together, and he went to the police and went on. I think he would have done a lot better if he left out the sex slave part.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, and, you know, if you're a TSA agent and you're talking to police detectives, you don't want to
smack.
Yeah, don't sit there and you need their help. Don't be like, well, you know, we do detective work too, and sometimes we're better than you because, you know, terrorists and all. It's like, come on, dude, that's not going to get their help. I mean, it was funny. We're not knocking the movie for it. It works in the movie, but you know, I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so you know, so it's like just a massive relief. And it turns out it's his friend in the airport security car.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm TS motherfucking A. Consider this shit fucking handled. We handle shit. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, he was by far he was like 99% of the comedy in this movie, but it worked. It was I think it was the right blend of comedy and creepy. Very creepy movie. Very excellent with the atmosphere, which is what a movie like this requires to work. And I think Peele did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm. Apparently he's always wanted to do one.
I can make that make sense because you watch like the Key and Peele sketches, and I mean they got a real cinematic vibe to everything they do. So I can see this, and I mean I'm like, bring me more, bring me more, give him all the monies.
Like I said,
I hear Batman needs a director.
No, Peele loves horror, so he's always wanted to do a horror movie.
Right.
So.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'll take more horror movies from him because this was great.
Don't you want horror Batman?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Just without the killing, but you know. The villains can do that. Anyways, that's a topic for a different day. But
okay, so Scarecrow.
Did we already cover? I think we covered pretty much everything.
I think so, until like about 5 minutes after we stopped him. But oh yeah, that thing.
That's how it always goes, and we're probably down to like 2 people watching now, anyway. So hi, 2 people. But anyways, so there you go, guys. Let us know. Comment away. You can spoil all you want in the comments here. We want to know your thoughts. What did you like? What did you love? You excited about it? What did you think of the movie? Agree, disagree, all that kind of stuff. Comment. I'm anxious to hear everybody else's thoughts on this one. Other than that, click that thumbs up button. Give us a thumb of encouragement. It's lovely to be encouraged. And I guess we're going to get out of here because I got a shit ton of stuff to do, including edit this. So we'll see you guys.
You're doing the bobblehead thing.
We'll see you guys later.